everybody and welcome back. So today's video it's actually something I've wanted to do for a while but I've never got round to it, is share our children's Christmas/winter books that we have built up over the years. To anyone who is new, hi and a very warm welcome. My name is Amy. So where are most of my books from? Charity shops, which for any of my regular viewers will be no surprise. I do a book advent calendar which can be very expensive if you're buying all the books brand new. So yes, charity shops are my biggest advice really. A book advent calendar is something that you've never done or thinking about doing. Obviously you can rent from the library, then some of these are from garden centres. I think we've got one or two from TK Maxx. Charity shops, and then a couple from independent bookstores. There are 27 here. We have 25 because there's one, it's the night after Christmas, which is when Santa and the North Pole have their Christmas. So I'm not going to show you them all in great detail because we'd be here forever, wouldn't we? But like I said, it doesn't have to be expensive. So this one is Tom Fletcher and the Magical North Pole. This was actually out of a Happy Meal book box. I do like that they do stories. Now that they can do books now, then we just grab these through to go through. We have got Pooh's Christmas Party. That was actually from a garden centre. That was $2.99. I do love a mooch around a garden centre. I'm hoping to do that. Well, when you watch this, it'll be today. So for me, it's tomorrow. For you, it's today. With my niece, because I've got my niece for the day while my sister's at work. So we're going to have we've done it a few years in a row now where we go and she loves looking at the Christmas decorations and the Christmas lights, and we have a little bit of lunch. And then we've got a tree for Christmas. Again, another Winnie the Pooh one. This was a charity shop one because quite often the charity shop books are like £3 for £1, and quite often they're separate, aren't they? A lot of the charity shops now, charity shops are not what they used to be. They were a bit smelly, weren't they, in the past? They were a bit like a jumble sale. Now they are like a really nice shop, and quite often either the children's Christmas books are on a separate shelf to the rest of the children's books, or there's like a whole big section that is just Christmas. Then we've got Thomas and Friends. There's two of these here. We've got the Snowy Christmas Surprise again. That was a charity shop find. These sort of size books are about $2 to $3.99 new. Then this one, which I love, so I didn't know until a good few years ago, because we've had this I think about 4 years now. This train is actually called Connor, which if you're new is my son's name, and it's spelt the way we do it as well, so CONNOR. This was at a garden centre. It was $3.99. When he unwrapped it, he didn't cotton on, he didn't notice, and it wasn't till I was reading it. So all aboard for a snowy adventure. It's Christmas Eve on Snowdor and snow is falling fast. Can the engines clear the tracks in time for Connor to bring home the last train before Christmas? And honestly, his little, which is what it's all about, isn't it? Why we do lots of these things and why us mums put ourselves through so much stress over Christmas. His little face when he knew that this was a book about the train with the same name was just priceless. And I don't number mine, so it is quite funny to watch him try and pick out how you'll pick through randomly when they're wrapped up, and he's trying to remember like what size the book was. Could this be the one that he's after? This is from a lovely little business. She's called Charlotte. She's over on Instagram. She does have a website as well, the Christmas Store. So she's called Polar Post if you want to check her out on Instagram. She does letters from Father Christmas, which it's probably not time to get one now from her, but she does chocolates from the North Pole, which I've ordered some for my son, which I'm going to do. My next video will probably be some Christmas bits that I've bought. We got this last year. I got it for my niece as well, but yeah, she does stocking fillers as well. And the lady who does her illustrations, she's just beautiful. So this was $10.99. So the children go through this door, which is in a tree, and they end up at the North Pole, which they don't realise until further into the book. But when you order from her, you get like a postcard by the lady Claire Fletcher, who does her illustrations, so like the stamps. So whichever one that year might be the postcard that you get. I think you get about 2. So we've got a little collection of them now, and they're lovely, and I always put them out in my son's room over Christmas. But she's done, each year she's doing a new book. So this was her second one, and she's done another book this year, which we haven't got, just didn't take my fancy. But we've got that one, and then I think this could make a nice stocking filler as well, maybe, or a gift for someone. Someone a child. Peter Rabbit, A Winter's Tale. This is just, it's a beautiful book. Again, this was a garden centre book. This was $5.99, and it is just lovely, nice illustrated. And I think Peter Rabbit books, they're just timeless, aren't they? Then a charity shop find book, we've got Paddington and the Christmas Surprise. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, Paddington Bear and the Queen will now be forever interlinked. This on the back says $5.99, but I think it was part of a 3 for £1 that I got from a charity shop. So sometimes you can find charity shop Christmas books in the charity shops all year round, but definitely the build up to Christmas they're always about. And then we have Russell's Christmas Magic. This one again was a charity shop find, and what drew me to it, so Santa has crashed and he's come across a sheep. He nearly crashed into the sheep, and then Russell the sheep has got this old tatty little car which he turns into a sleigh for Santa so he can carry on delivering his presents. And my son loves cars, so I knew he would like this straight away. No idea where you could maybe pick this up from, so maybe look on Amazon maybe, and that is $5.99. It sounds back, and this was definitely part of 3 for £1 that I got, but I think I'd got the other books and I passed them on to somebody else because obviously we've got quite a few already. This we've had, so I've been doing the book advent calendar since my son was 2. So this we've had for many years now. Like I said, he's nearly 10. So this is Kipper's Christmas Eve book, and I think most of us have read or had a Kipper book read to us over the years, haven't we? They're just lovely books, I think. Then another Kipper one, this is a bit battered now. This again, another charity shop find, is Kipper's Snowy Day. So this on the back is $4.99, and I've definitely seen some Kipper books. I think I've seen this one and the Christmas Eve one in TK Maxx really recent, like, did I go last Monday? So yeah, very recently. This one is from an independent bookshop. This was from Falmouth down in Cornwall. It is Meerkat Christmas. So there's a normal one as well where the meerkat, I think it's called Sunny. He goes off to try and live somewhere else, different climates with different relatives, and he doesn't like it. And each time he sends back a card from where he's moved on to. And I think he goes visiting for Christmas. I can't remember if he goes visiting for Christmas or the places that he went to in the other book, they all send him a card. But as you go through them all, oh, that's it, he does do the visiting and he sends a card home from each place that he goes to. And I do like that they're stuck in here, so there's less chance of you losing them. I think I have seen this in the paperback copy in Asda really recently. How much? This is $12.99, and I think the paperback copy is probably about $6.99. I'd say he does really enjoy that one. Again, one that we've had for many years, another charity shop find. This is Santa's Christmas Letter with pull-out letters, lift the flaps, and a pop-up surprise. He has for years loved any book that has got anything in. And then the bit at the back, hopefully you can see that. I think this was about 79p, a good few years ago now. I'm probably going back at least six years on that one. This was from another independent bookstore in 2019. I think I got this one from a children's independent bookshop down in St Ives in Cornwall, Billy and the Balloons. So basically the little boy is holding on to some balloons and everybody's trying to stop him from getting blown away, and then I can come across it. Obviously he comes across Santa, because who else do you come across? Santa rescues him and they deliver the presents. That's a lovely book, and I do love the little, because we have a puppy now as well, the little dog at the back. So that is $11.99, and when I got this there was like 10% off. It was October half term, and there was 10% off in that little, on their Christmas books. It's a lovely book and it's different as well, so that might be worth checking out. A little bit of tea. And then Our Night Before Christmas is The Night Before Christmas in Wonderland. This was an Instagram recommendation. I know quite a few people shared this the other day. This is fairly new. It is a lovely book, beautifully illustrated. So basically the Queen of Hearts, one year somehow Santa didn't get her letter, so she's hated Christmas ever since. And then basically at the end of the book, he then delivers that present that she never got, and then she's happy. That is £7.99, and that was off Amazon. Then this one is a lovely book. This is Asda's Fight the Hunger. So this was a charity book that they did a few years ago, and I actually bought it in the January. I think something like 25 or 30p. It was like really towards the end of January, when there was barely any Christmas bits left. So basically, turn to the end. So when you look up one evening and see the northern lights in the sky, you'll know the grown-ups don't tell you it's the magic from when Santa flies by. So basically the children have discovered that when Santa flies by, he leaves behind some magic, and they go about trying to collect it in a jar. So that's nice and unique and different. This is Things You Never Knew About Santa Claus. I got this in Toys R Us, their last Christmas they were there, and it's silly things like Santa likes to sunbathe in the snow, that Santa gets lost, and then where's the other one? Oh yes, cold pizza is his favourite midnight treat, and I did find this back in January for, I think it was part of 3 for £1, for my niece, because my niece is just turned 4, so my sister's had to change. She's doing the book advent calendar, and obviously because she's 4 now, she's got a few books that were too young, so she's changed some out, and then I'm slowly finding ones in the charity shops to add. This was a car boot find, The Great Christmas Pudding Rescue, where basically they, I think if I remember rightly, they write to Santa to come and help, and I think this was about 50p, and on the back, so this was exclusive to Tesco, and on the back it says £4. Then I think most people have got this either in their children's winter collection books that they bring out, or maybe in their book advent calendar. Percy in the Park Keeper, One Snowy Night, where all the animals come in to try and keep warm from all the snow. I actually won this and some others on an Instagram competition about 3 years ago. That's how we got our copy of that, and that is one of our favourite books. This he's getting a little bit young for now, so I don't know how many more years we'll have this. We're going on an elf chase. So if you don't know, they do we're going on an egg hunt as well, and I think they've just brought out a reindeer one where I think it's Santa and they go on a reindeer hunt. So it's a little bit like we're going on a bear hunt, so tiptoe creep sort of thing. And then but on this one there's like little flaps to look, and since he was little he's always loved books with anything in flaps or come with cards. Again, this is a Lift the Flap books. This is a Christmas present hunt. This was from TK Maxx. It was £3.99 instead of £6.99, and again you've got the little things to lift up and find. Then I think most people have got either this one or the normal Jolly Postman in their children's book collection, but if you haven't, it's the Jolly Postman. He's going around delivering mail, and each one he does, there's something for you to pull out of a little envelope, a letter, a card. This one is the Toy Town Christmas Annual. It's just lovely. Again, this was £12.99, but I got it from the Book People for, I think it was, they used to do like what, up to 75% off. Sadly they're no longer with us, are they? But there is, I think it's Books to Door. They are very, very similar to the Book People, and again they have up to 75% off books, so they're definitely worth checking out. And I did come up, I think it's the only time I've ever seen it, I saw it found a few months ago for 25p for my niece, and it had got all the little cards and stuff inside, which I was really shocked, because this is one book that you don't tend to come across very often in the charity shops, because I think people, it's definitely one that you tend to keep and maybe pass down to the grandchildren. Then we have The Christmas Bear, a Lift the Flap book. So Alexa, for anyone new, I do apologise, I am dyslexic. He's the guy who quite often does the illustrations on the Julia Donaldson books. Again, this was a charity shop book. On the back it says £5.99, but I think I paid about 99p for it. And again, this is another book. This is fairly new now. We've got Ollie's Christmas Reindeer, There's Ollie's Cat, I think, which is like I say Halloween, it's like an autumn one. And then there's an Easter one as well, which is quite a nice collection. Again, this was recommended on someone's Instagram, and I went and had a look on Amazon, and it was $6.99. And it's a lovely book. We do enjoy that one. I think we've only had that one about 2 years old now. It says inside. A lot of these now ones are fairly new. Oh no, it's first published in 2016. But I think as Instagram's got bigger and sharing books and children's clothes and stuff, it's got a lot more popular. Again, recommended on Instagram is Dasher. So this is the story of how Dasher becomes part of Santa's little team. This was $6.99, but I think it's when you spend £10 on books on Amazon, you normally get free delivery, don't you? So what I tend to do is try and find a book for about the price of delivery, just a little bit more maybe. Then we have, again, this is a series of books. This is by the author of Oi Frog, The Night Before Christmas, so the 23rd of December. It's lovely and sparkly. This is $6.99 again. Then it's saying you forgot to shave. You probably might have this one because I know this series of books are quite popular, and we do really enjoy that one. And then our last one, now we have this on Boxing Day night, obviously because it's the night after Christmas, so the 26th of December, because when does the North Pole have their Christmas? Obviously their Christmas is Boxing Day. And again, this is a lovely book which maybe would make a nice present as well for somebody. And then I will quickly show you my crate. So the first year I did his Christmas books, and for a good few years after that it was just in a wicker basket. So my sister had got married the year that I first did the book advent calendar, just before he was 2, because he's a January baby. And I was like, oh, because she got married and she put flip-flops in that on the evening for people. And I was like, oh, what are you doing with this now? And she's like, oh, I don't have any use for it. And I was like, oh, could I have it? So I know, like Instagram and YouTube, everything can be sparkly and all fancy. It doesn't have to be. Just use what you've got, and then maybe, you know, these sort of things you can buy all year round. So this was Etsy. Now I know it does say Christmas Eve. I don't do Christmas Eve box because quite often I'm at work. I can't guarantee what time I'm going to finish, and I don't want to disappoint him with just not being able to do the activities. So I do a Christmas box, which gets put out on the 1st of December. Again, it's one of those things that has just built up. So like Christmas puzzles or games, like we've got Christmas Snap, again, which was a charity shop find. And then, you know, I normally have got his Christmas pyjamas and his Christmas jumper before the 1st of December, and then his book advent calendar and his chocolate calendar, it just all goes out together. And like I had little Christmas snacks and stuff too, and I might sneak little things in, and like the elf on the shelf. It doesn't do anything spectacular in our house, he just tends to bring things. Sometimes he does do something a bit funny or silly, but a lot of the time I just find it easier if the elf just brings a little something like a Christmas chocolate or some Christmas biscuits or something. So yes, this was off Etsy. I did mean to ask the lady not to put the Eve in, but I didn't. I keep saying I'm going to put a star on it, and I never do. But this is lovely, which again, you know, with the cost of everything, quite often these things, will do them all year, or you could maybe message if you find one when you have the money to maybe get it, and it's got his name, and it's just lovely and personalised, and he's really happy with it, and I like it as well. Yes, I hope you find that helpful. I think these are 2 of our favourite books. Let me know if you have any of these or your favourite, or whether you've seen them and you're now going to go and check them out and maybe get them yourselves. And do let me know if you've watched it and you do the book advent calendar as well, or any books that you would recommend that I haven't got in here. But yes, definitely check out second-hand places for books. Amazon, you can. A lot of people don't realise this. I didn't until a few years ago. You can buy new and second-hand. So quite often it'll come up with a price, and it'll have new and used from. So it is worth checking out next. I think the one year I added it up with the prices, books that had got all the prices on the back, if I bought them all new, I think his book advent calendar came out to something silly like £160, which is just, books are really important, but for books that you're just going to have out for 1 month of the year, £160, it's a lot of money, isn't it? So definitely check out TK Maxx, The Works, they quite often do 5 for £5, sometimes 10 for £10, and then that company I told you about, that books. It's either books to door or books to your door. But they're worth checking out. 'Cause like I said, if you'd heard of the Book People who sadly went into administration, was it beginning of this year or last year? That basically they're very similar to them and sell at very similar prices to what they used to. So yes, do hope that was useful to anybody. Yeah, what's your favourite Christmas book? Maybe children's Christmas book. Have a good week, everybody, and I will see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.